That's a companion name. Jeez.
It's actually very good. I would say do it.
I know you would, but I'm not going to.
And start transcription then.
No,
You'll like
thank you.
that. Oh, I'm surprised. I thought that was your favorite thing, transcription.
I haven't found one that works yet.
Come on.
The Zoom one works. I've started it. I'm going to
It
send it
works,
to
but it doesn't work for the way we're set up.
True, actually.
Okay,
It's
it
true.
says live, Gilmore Gang live on your logo.
I just want to say to the transcriber when Steve
All right,
Gilmore
hang on a second.
speaks,
Let me just mute.
sometimes it's Tina Gilmore.
Yep.
Thank you.
By the way, your
You-
LinkedIn Live is live.
I don't see it
Thank
on
you.
Facebook.
Gilmore Gang
Right,
is live
we're
on X.
We're streaming live on X,
Yes.
And
Facebook.
LinkedIn.
Do you see it on Facebook?
I don't.
Nobody
I'll
sees
look.
it. No, Frank said no.
No?
No, I just because I don't see it. It must be there somewhere and I don't
I'm
see
going to
it.
check
Hang on.
Facebook. Gilmore Gang.
Yeah, we're live.
You are
Yes.
on Facebook.
Okay,
Mhm.
very good.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay,
so
well,
we're live on
you guys-
Facebook, on X, Twitter, and
You guys go ahead then,
on,
because I got to go find these things.
and LinkedIn.
We are indeed live on Facebook. I can confirm double.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
That double secret confirmation.
Okay, time to share if you like.
What is
that's what
that?
I'm
Like
trying to.
punch
That's why
bug,
I'm.
double punch bug?
That's what I'm trying to
People
find.
without kids do not understand.
These
that.
wacky things.
Oh, that's why I said it.
Gilmore Gang
Okay,
live.
I'm gonna go with
2
that
minutes
right
ago.
there.
Okay, I see it on the X.
All right.
Okay, so quiet, please. Tina, do the streaming lead in.
Mute is off, and we're gonna go in 3, 2, whoop.
3, 2, bloop.
Two.
We're gonna go
No,
in.
no, start it again, please.
Mute is off, and we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1, and
Okay. Let's see what the sync looks like for me. Hi, this is Steve Gilmore, and this is the Gilmore Gang for the third Sunday in May.
no.
7 Days in May. It's a great film.
Sure is.
Unfortunately, now coming true on a Friday night basis. So, welcome to Frank Radis in London.
Hello, Steve, Tina, Keith, Frenchlak, all the gangsters. Pleasure to be here. London is warm and rainy. That's all I got. I got much more than that, but that's all I got for right now.
Welcome in the state of confusion. Look at this.
Paul Greenberg. Paul Greenberg's here.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Hey, Paul.
I'm still logged in as well.
Brent.
Anyway, it's Brent Larry, aka Paul Greenberg.
I hate the Yankees. That'll
Why?
go in the
What
trans
happened?
that'll go in the transcription as Paul saying I hate the Yankees. I just wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't understand that comment, but
Paul's a big Yankees fan.
Yeah.
Brent just had his name attached to the transcription saying he hates the Yankees, and Paul does not hate the Yankees.
He spoofed him. That's what he did.
Now I've explained it to Steve.
All true sports fans have a
understood it.
love-hate relationship with their team. It's always
yeah,
both.
except the Yankees. It's super class. We look down on everybody.
Yeah.
Equal opportunity.
Well, that's the same as Manchester United, but sadly we keep losing. So
Wow, what
Yes.
the hell's going on with that?
Well,
Yeah.
we've decoupled
The Yankees haven't
actually
won in a
winning
while.
from
The
anything.
Yankees haven't won in a while, have they, Steve?
No, I'm a Rams fan, not a Yankees fan.
Oh.
That's not good.
What?
Well,
That
you
he's a
can't
fan
stop
of the
it.
Rams?
What, you don't need another Rams fan?
No,
Yeah,
he doesn't
I'm not
care. He doesn't care
Just
what I
want you
think.
in their ranks, Steve. There's a
Yeah.
problem.
My middle son is a Rams fan. It gives me cause to throw up every now and then.
And we'll identify the guy who's talking out of order in a few minutes. Welcome to my left or right is our producer director Tina Chase Gillmor.
Well, hi there. I'm having pinning problem. Hi. Um, looking forward to this Gilmore gang. Always nice to see you guys.
Yeah, it's good to
It's
see
a
you.
dreary Sunday here. I don't know about where you are, Brent. I bet it is the same.
It's not raining. I think it rained a little overnight, but it's overcast. So
Yeah, it's just that.
yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it's good.
From
Or
the
meh.
Duchy of Palo Alto is Keith Tier.
The duchy. I do
Eh,
know a few duchies here. There are some duchies
Well,
here.
then pass
Yes,
the
that's a
duchy.
reference to the
Ah.
mouse that roared, the great
Pass the
carry
duchy,
on
left-hand side.
predecessor or successor.
It was very good, very very good.
Who?
The Mouse That Roared, the movie, The Mouse That Roared.
Ah, the mouse that roared.
Yeah.
You said that it didn't sound like mouse that roared. It sounded
Well,
like
I
mouse
have a
that
Yorkshire
It
roared.
sounded like Masteroid.
Yeah.
Better than
in York,
hemorrhoid.
you've got to remember that
That's what-
Yorkshire accents have flat vowels, like we say butter, butter,
Water.
and
No,
I have to
scones,
remember that,
Buddha.
right?
scones.
Yeah,
Okay,
the
all
Masteroid.
right.
No, wait. How is the Yorkshire water different than the London water?
Well, in London they have a flat A, water, but not with the R, water. Here in Yorkshire we'll say water, like WART, like a wart on your hand.
Yeah, here it's Warder, Warder.
Can I just apologize right now for anybody listening to this that's out there?
No,
Yeah.
it won't help. Trust
Yeah,
me.
well, no,
All of
you can
our Englishes.
apologize all you want, man.
Yeah. Uh,
I can just imagine 33 people at home all practicing their Yorkshire English now.
That's what you would be doing, imagining it, because it ain't happening. So
You know, Daniel Day-Lewis has just put out his first movie since deciding he wasn't doing any more movies, and he plays a Yorkshireman going into the hills with his brother, where the whole thing is a dialogue between the two of them in Yorkshire accents.
Did he nail it? Have you seen it?
Oh, he totally nails it. Yeah, he nails
Wow.
it. Yeah.
Impressive. And well, let's save that for the end of the show.
no, sorry.
I want to know what
I
this
was
is.
no, I'd like to find out what are the other Frank, what are the films that you're
Now,
going to talk? Yeah.
So
It's called Live.
one the new movie with Leonardo DiCaprio's One Battle After Another is amazing. If you get to see it, boy, you have to ask me that. Can I have the vote on the Directors Guild for that guy?
that you can find out for the end. Of the
Yeah,
show
you know
for
what?
us.
Google it. It's a great movie. It's got a terrific cast. It's absolutely right now at the very top of my list of really good movies this year.
Wait, is this a pre-release that you've seen? Because you're
Yes.
special.
Yeah. Well, I who knows, because of the way things go these days, I don't know what's on the stream and what's not. But
Yeah.
but it's so damn good. And
I saw it in the theater.
did you?
Mm.
Me and Jenny went. We never go to the theater, but we went and saw that.
It's a
Wow.
long movie, but it's a little bit of a drag at the top until it gets going, and then it's just hard to stop watching. Did you like it?
Because of my political past, I struggled to grasp the paradigm, which is these kind of terrorist good people becoming terrorists. It was a bit like a modern version of Minutemen.
Well, I never saw them as good people becoming terrorists. I thought I saw them as terrorists being terrorists, but that's another story.
Yeah, but their goals were worthy, and they ended up being the sympathetic characters.
Yes, they certainly did. But we won't give any
so
spoilers.
it was a bit weird in that way.
It would, and that's sort of what I meant by it. It was a little bit of a pull for me to at the very top, but that's one.
Hey, who knew?
We-
Talking for quite a long time about stuff.
yeah,
we
enough of
didn't
that.
have any idea
And
about.
the other one is the Spike Lee movie. What is that? It's about the music business. It's with
Oh, the
Denzel
one with
Washington.
Denzel. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that was pretty good.
Yeah, and that movie
I
is
saw it.
good.
You saw it.
Yeah.
It's another one that actually got on the stream already. There's a handful of crazy good movies that you can't see yet. Yeah,
We saw one that we enjoyed. It was Steve. Steve will not remember the name of it, nor will I. But it's George Clooney
oh,
and Adam
that's the
Sandler.
where he played and Adam Sandler. Yeah, that's actually on Netflix right now, which
Yeah, it's excellent.
Definitely worth
it's a
it.
very good movie also. And so there's a number of other ones. Mickey 17 is really good.
Don't know what that is.
The Life of Chuck is really good.
Who?
What
The
about
Life of Chuck.
Down Cemetery Road? Have you watched that?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's not a
really
movie.
good.
That's a show.
It's a
That's
show,
a good
yeah.
show, and I was going to get to TV now. Down Cemetery Road is excellent. I'm just waiting for I think one more episode to see if that Pluribus is blowing me away. There's one
really?
episode left of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about The Last Frontier? Watching that?
No.
I started watching it and then I got sucked into Pluribus, so I'm going to go back to The
Excellent.
Last Frontier.
Excellent. Downstream. Just keep going down.
Let's try
till you get to
this
the-
again.
It's okay. You've already seen one more episode than I have.
Oh, and there's
I
one
fell
now
asleep in the
that I'm
second
watching literally right now. It's called oh God, geez,
I know
must
you
be
should
getting
just
old.
factor it in.
I should write them down before we start talking. But it's a fantasy movie on Netflix, and it's just incredible. And I'm going to go look it up while you guys keep talking.
Yeah,
We
look
should
it up.
write
I
them
like
down
fantasy
before we
movies.
talk. We saw a movie that's been out for a while, but I really enjoyed it. It's called Between the Temples, and
Yeah, that was excellent.
it's Carol Kane
Oh, I like
is
her.
wonderful in it. Wonderful. So thoroughly
When
enjoyed
the
that
earth
one. Oh, enjoyed it
moves.
more than I thought I was going to. Very Jewish content, but it was great.
Talamasca, Keith,
Helen Musk.
on Netflix. It's got one of those terrible, like, by the way, like the One Battle After Another, which was really badly marketed and has a terrible title. Talamasca. It's
The
not
Secret
something
Order.
it's incredibly good. It's
One
really good.
Battle.
Check it out. There you go. I've given you enough to go through at least a few days.
So my wife is out of town for the last week, and so I don't watch the shows we watch together. So I went back and watched Dune: The Prophecy on HBO.
It's good. And speaking of HBO, soon to be part of a new company.
Yeah, if you
Maybe.
believe that's going to go through.
It's Trump is not gonna. He might not approve that, and he might because I can't imagine he's not trying to push it towards Paramount.
So, Frank, I know you're a big fan of Evan Shapiro. Can you explain anything that he's talking about right now?
He thinks it's a bad deal.
Yeah.
And he's sort of taking the side of many people in Hollywood who see it as a really bad deal. So let's go back to the
And why
beginning
do
for
they?
a second.
No, we're going back, and here we are.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is the deal? The deal is that it looks like Netflix is going to buy half of Warner Brothers Discovery, not all of it. So that means that Warner Brothers Discovery is going to have to split itself up, which means the half that Netflix buys is the studios and the streaming
And the
half
back
that
catalog.
and the half that it doesn't buy is everything else, which includes CNN, opening up the possibility for CNN to be sold to a company like Paramount, which owns CBS, which is just destroying.
So we're going to have all right-wing news all
exactly.
the time.
Exactly.
It's going to be a paradise for you.
There's news this morning, Frank, that CNN and Discovery Plus and TNT will be its own separate streaming service.
Yes, they're talking about creating a new company
Yeah.
that will include all of that, but that doesn't preclude the possibility that they will unload CNN to Paramount because they're going to be needing the money.
Well, CNN, this is weird to me, and I wish this wasn't true, but CNN has a pathetically small average number of simultaneous viewers,
Yes,
well
it does.
under 500,000 globally.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. And actually, quite honestly, a move to a CBS conglomerate in the right wing sphere would probably help it.
But doesn't it tell us that, I mean, compare that to YouTube. I would guess that a CNN that was only streamed on YouTube would get more viewers than that.
Absolutely. Well, YouTube is TV. If you saw the headline
Yeah.
of my
This is
current
what I was trying to
newsletter.
get you to,
Yeah.
channel Evan and explain what he's talking about.
Just before
Well,
we do that, I just want to tell our American viewers that Talamasca is on AMC Plus in the US, not on Netflix.
Okay, there you go. It is on Netflix here, but here being the UK. One of the things that
I'll try
Evan has been
one more time.
He's doing it right now. He just
I just started it. One of the things that Evan has been saying for the longest time is that YouTube TV is watched by YouTube is watched by more people than anything else. So YouTube is the number one source for all content. And he now
I don't buy it's the one source for all content. It's the one source for all of that content.
I hear what you're saying. And a lot of people still look at YouTube as user generated content. It's a lot more than that. If you start looking through YouTube, you'll find way more long form content in it. You'll find way more interesting stuff in it. I used to say, I don't know, Evan, because I had this conversation with him, and then he said, no, you need to dive into it. You can watch sports in there now. You can, and I actually don't know if Evan combines YouTube TV with YouTube.
No, he doesn't.
But if you did, it would be the single largest source of all content everywhere.
Those two together are probably 70% of my streaming viewing.
Yes, and thank you for that, Keith, because it was because of you that I decided to go down the road of YouTube TV and not Hulu or Sling or any of those other services that offer those other pieces of content. It's funny though, because my wife is one of those people who finds herself accidentally going to YouTube when she means to go to YouTube TV and gets really flustered that she can't find what she's looking for on YouTube. So that sort of belies a little bit of what Evan is saying. But if you really look at the actual numbers of eyeballs, the eyeballs watching YouTube content are way higher because of the huge number of other sources of content have diluted the pool so much.
Diluted or diluted?
Diluted.
I think that it has diluted the pool.
A little both.
A little of both.
Exactly.
And YouTube in and of itself. And it's funny though, YouTube has said that they are not going to and are not interested in creating a studio to create long form.
They don't have to.
They don't, because there are companies out there that are creating other types of turnaround long form content that is airing on YouTube.
Yeah, but that turnaround long form content is not what I'm interested in.
It's kind of crap.
Let me just tell you what I'm interested in. What I'm interested in is good TV shows and some small amount of movies that basically are released for a week on theaters and then moves to television immediately.
There's the Netflix.
Yes, and that's what I want. But the problem is that Netflix is in the middle of its after peak TV, sort of puke TV period where they haven't bought enough content. And basically, we have to rely on watching, football, including this football game we watched yesterday between Indiana and
Ohio State.
thank you, and I've never seen a worse game.
So, but you've made the
Oh, did
case
you?
But no,
right
I'm making the
there.
case for what it is that I want. Not
Well,
this
no,
is not about.
but you've made the case for
I
why
don't care
Netflix
about
is
eyeballs in this case.
no, no,
I
no.
don't think that this is
It's not
important.
what I'm talking about. You
But
just
you're
made
not
the
listening to what I had.
yeah, I totally am. You made the case for the deal between Netflix and Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers is by far the largest
I did not make
supplier.
the case because I don't think it's going to go through.
Oh, well, then they get Paramount and Paramount makes content too.
So-
Either way,
Paramount is like an arm of the government now.
Yeah.
So, Steve, I think it is going to go through, and I also think it's probably a good thing because Warner Brothers.
But you also think that OpenAI is the shit, and I don't. So
Yeah, but you don't use
I'm
it, so
talking
you
about
don't know.
something. What?
You don't use OpenAI, so it's just an opinion.
You get correct. It's
But
just an
mine
opinion.
is born of usage.
Well, or delusion, depending upon what we talked about on the phone last night, which is
Jamie Dimon says AI may force some people out of work, but it will create a much better lifestyle for everyone in the future.
absolutely true.
I agree
So
with that.
here's a question, not to move off of the Warner
But
Brothers
it won't
Discovery.
create it. It will be a part of it.
Yes. So here's a question I have, and maybe it's for the entire team. If you don't mind me asking this question, Steve, it's
Do I have a choice?
Sure, you can say "Shut up, Frank." It's my
No,
show.
I don't. Well, it
okay.
is my show, but don't shut up, Frank.
So I'm curious, and it just may be a stupid question, but with all of the issues with the First Amendment and right-wing media and sort of the trampling on the First Amendment, will not AI start using all of that content, start spitting out anti-First Amendment content? Lies, for example. Isn't that going to become a part of
They started about 3 years ago, Frank.
But I mean, if
It's already happening.
But Frank, break that down for me because
No, I'd like to hear Frank's. I don't want to go into the
actually I'm just going back
freedom
to
of speech stuff. I don't want to go back to it. Not
well,
yet.
it's not about freedom of speech as much as it's about I guess it is about freedom of speech, but the point is that once the stuff is out there, and that becomes the pool which AI goes and grabs and sucks in and then spits back out. Doesn't that? I guess you're right, Steve. It has been out there for a long time.
And not only that, but who cares? You don't have to watch it. I mean, the thing I don't like about reality TV is the good news is I never watch it.
I think, Frank, that the Animal Farm quote about some pigs are more equal than others, is it? Or some animals are more equal than others? I can't remember the exact quote. Is very relevant in the context of training data. Training data really encompasses the entire spectrum of human belief systems, all of them. So AI never just trains on one set of views. It trains on everything. And so unless you want to become an editor that says you're not allowed to train on these views because I disagree with them, or I think they're lies, you have to just keep our hands off and let it train on everything. And then
but
you
this
have
is
to
a
let it-
rationale
doesn't that
this is a
dilute the
rationale
content?
for what is it?
No, but
Anti-cancel culture. I mean, why are we talking about this now?
no, I'm not talking about cancel culture. I'm talking about the way an AI trains is, remember, it doesn't store sentences, it stores words, and it stores numbers that say this word is close to this word in this context. So it's a huge three-dimensional graph of words. And so whatever it trains on, it's actually just doing word counting and proximity. So it can't repeat a thought because it doesn't store a thought. It basically doesn't work like that.
Well, you're arguing against something that nobody has said is what's going on.
No,
not on this show
I'm
yet.
saying it doesn't matter what anyone says, it won't warp the AI's training.
But what the AI will spit out something that's diluted and warped,
Only if it's the dominant human opinion, because
which
because it's a statistics engine.
Well, that's why we have the President Trump.
yeah, which is, the dominant human opinion in America.
Thank
Well,
you.
but then your only remedy to that is to stop the other people speaking or not use what they say,
No,
which
that's
They-
your
that-
political stance.
what is
and an
okay, let me put it
infringement on
another
the
way.
First Amendment and
What
free
is the
speech.
let me ask it another way. Can you imagine a remedy for that?
No, not right now.
Not right now.
And it's not what we were talking about. It's what you want to talk about.
No, I'm just listening to Frank. I'm not, honestly, I haven't
I'm,
created even a single
you know
new
what?
topic.
I'm not
Okay,
sure I
Frank,
have an
it's your
opinion.
fault.
What
What is it?
I'm not sure I have an opinion about this. That's kind of why I asked the question. I mean, I think about it, and it's something that and the reason I think about it is because I'm doing an interview with a person who's working on a PhD in First Amendment law tomorrow. And this struck me as something that would be interesting to talk about during that interview. And I wanted to actually pick your brains so that I could then steal it, use it tomorrow during the
Well,
Yeah,
that works
I
for me.
apologize, Steve. I'm not trying to open up a topic. I was just literally
No,
responding.
you have been trying to.
No, I haven't.
You don't need to apologize because I'm going to do everything I can to stop it.
Well,
Of
look,
course.
regardless, I've totally enjoyed that the fact that this opened up an interesting series of schmalgrins.
It did.
Do we all think the First Amendment is a good thing? Is probably the starting
Here we
point.
go again.
No, well, sorry.
I don't want
Frank.
to talk about the First Amendment right now.
Okay. Let's
Thanks.
change the subject then. What do you want to talk about?
Hey,
Anything but that.
how about those Rams?
So I watched a really good series of shows on PPN, Paul and Brent's network, which it's terrific and it's on the internet, so you can just go find the icon and click on it, and it'll start playing it. And one of the
That's
speakers
very
was
cool that it does
Keith
that.
Deere, as a matter of fact. And so other people, some of whom I know quite well, and some of whom I've not had the pleasure until seeing it on the show. There was this unanimity of information that I was really surprised about, which is, what the conceit of the show is, and I don't say that negatively, was what is the future of CRM? And for those of us who don't know what CRM is, the it's contact relation management. No, I'm just kidding. It's the question is whether or not AI is going to subsume it or not. And I would say it already has about 15 years ago. And what was going on, the various vendors, there was a big table and then a kids table. The kids table, as I lovingly call it, is was fantastic on this. They've been doing this series, which is really the first online conference for 4 years now, 3.5 years.
First off, you said it right. You were referring to that as the little kids table, not me. We are not referring to those fine
No,
vendors, executives as the little kids table. I just want to put that out there so that everybody knows. Okay. What were you
well,
asking, man?
normally I wouldn't be too interested in that particular group of people, but it was the hit of the show, in my opinion, because it was beyond what the vendors, the major vendors, were saying, which I was pleased to see was a unanimity of opinion about the near future of CRM and the impact, not really of AI, but the impact of AI, if you follow what I'm saying.
By the way, I also need to express the investor panel with Keith Tier that was a part of that, which was an awesome way to start the whole thing. Him and Scott Beachuk over at Northwest Venture Partners and Larry Augustine, who before he started his own venture company, he was the CEO of Sugar for about a decade, something like that. And our own Anand Thakur, who's the voice of PPN. This is PPN. That's him.
So, Brent, I assume that when Steve said the little kids table, that was the one he was referring to.
No, he was
No,
not.
absolutely not.
But
No, the what I'm trying to say is that what we saw, or at least what I saw, over a day and a half of programming was what the Warner's Netflix deal is heading toward,
Whoa.
which is, yeah, I know you have a hard time dealing with success. That's okay. Uh, it was incredible to see such deep thought on the part of, uh, you know, heavy competitors such as Salesforce and what's the other one?
Microsoft, Adobe, ServiceNow, and Oracle.
Yeah. Uh, I think Oracle, there's a question about, its uh, position in not the group, but in its impact on. I didn't hear a lot from Oracle about what they think they're going to move the ball forward in as far as CRM and I heard more about uh, their market strength and the fact that they're part of the conversation now, like Microsoft now is as well because of its AI strategy. There was just a lot going on in this show, and it was completely it dwarfed CNBC's coverage of the AI story is pretty good actually, but the stuff that was not said explicitly was implied implicitly throughout these sessions. There were some very good analyst uh, analysis of what the vendors and other players had to say, and it was very exciting to see that there's real hard work going on here that goes above the open AI, Anthropic, who are the leaders, and was more about if you take all of them together, what's happening. It was a really valuable set of shows, and it was entirely dreamed up, and as far as I know, it was produced basically as an afterthought in 4 or 5 days, just pulled together through the executive that is on our show.
No,
And of
I wouldn't
course,
quite go that far, but
well, I
uh,
would, but that's why it's called the Gillmor Gang.
no, we were very fortunate because this is the fourth year we've done it. But this was the first year that apparently um, Thanksgiving Thursday was so late that there was no additional Thursday in between Thanksgiving and the show. So that made it kind of more difficult because we couldn't reach everybody to until the last minute to see if we were gonna be able to pull it off. And thankfully we were, and everybody, and it's kind of hard to get. Let's see, there was six executives on the first panel with we call them the big six, and then we had another six the next day. So 12 of the leading vendors had executive participation in that, and in our industry, and that was tough. But you know, and then we wanted to do something more, so we wanted to get the investor perspective on what's going to happen from their, what they're seeing, and that was really an
Well,
amazing
you
experience.
can also watch Keith's This Was the Week
Yes.
every week for some added excitement about what isn't going to happen in the next month.
this was the week is the Jewish version of the title. In non-Jewish language, you call it "That Was the Week."
What is the
It was
Jewish
the
version?
week.
This
It
was the
was a
week.
week.
This was the week.
It was
It was a week.
it was a week.
Wow.
Well, it's better to have that A in there because some people could say it's weak, and that wouldn't be right. It's a week. There you go.
Well,
So,
it's a play on that David Frost show. Uh,
Yes.
that was the week it was.
That
Yeah.
was the week that was. Totally stole. I even stole the logo from it.
Yeah, good job with that. It's a very
And
British thing that nobody in America will
Well,
remember.
now that it's on recorded and streamed, if anybody wants to come after him, just make sure his last name is Teare. That's
Yeah,
who you want
and
to come
spell Keith
after.
the
So,
right way,
yeah.
not the way that I spelled it for the first 2 years of our
Hi,
relationship.
hi.
you mean in the second tier, not the
Height
kids
tier.
table, but the second tier.
But so, Brent, in like 10 words, sum it up for me.
Well, I don't think it's going to be anybody surprised that uh, AI is going to continually penetrate what AI, what CRM was, what CRM looked like, how CRM was developed. AI is basically going to rearrange all that with some of the later technologies. And there are some things that came out like we don't even need a UI anymore at some point. We won't have any particular application specific to any particular apps. They're going to kind of be distributed across a platform so that it can be reached in many different ways, and it will be a part of like this whole agent infrastructure.
That's very interesting. What does that mean for branding?
You know what's going to happen is the UI is going to become your conversation with a robot, either a software robot or a physical robot, and the robot's going to be the API to you. So if you're a vendor selling something, your customers will be able to interact with APIs, which is still the cloud, of course, but the physical representation of that will more and more be voice or enshrined in physical robots or software robots.
So now the words voice of brand actually means something entirely different.
But it won't just be your customers kind of interacting with these things. It'll be employees interacting with the agents. Your customers will be interacting with the agents. The agents will be interacting with other agents.
And the
if you,
employees it will be interacting with the customers.
yeah, and so instead of, I think the dream or somebody's dream, I don't know if it's mine or not, but the dream is not having to go into a set of applications with their own specific user interfaces for specific purposes, and having a system that allows humans and agents and other vendor agents outside of your agent, all of it to kind of be accessed in order to do something. There's an
When does
end
this
result.
happen?
Well, some people were saying it's going to start. It's already started happening, and then in 2026 it will accelerate, like everything else seems to be. But I think there's going to be some. I mean, me personally, I think there's going to be some whiplash because a lot of the stuff that we seem to be accelerating towards technologically, we're good, we're able to do. But I think it's more the behavioral and the human aspects of. I'm not sure I really want to go that do this right
Yeah,
now.
I
I
get that.
think that's the backlash we might get.
I had a startup in my home office yesterday that is a UK startup that does it delivers cars to buyers, and it links with truck owners who can take the cars. And the truck owners have like 1 day routes or 2 day routes or sometimes 1 week routes to deliver cars. And we talked about having an agent per receiver so that a single customer has an agent whose only job is to make sure they get their delivery and keep them up to date about where it is and when it's coming. And another agent would have a single seller of cars whose job it was to make sure all their cars got delivered and they knew what was going on. So you can imagine the architecture of that business is going to be an agent per customer and an agent per vendor in a marketplace that's mainly about data intelligence, owned by, for the want of a better word, bots that represent just you. And
Well, how does that work geographically?
Geography is just a variable in delivery for them. So software understands geography, it has maps. So the software agents understand everything to do with the logistics of delivery. They know which driver to give which cars to create optimal routes,
regardless of where it is.
So now you don't have either a support person or a salesperson per point of contact. You have a software agent per point of contact.
How do you discover this?
Meaning,
If you're an individual that wants to use this, how do they discover it?
You just sign up, say I have a truck, start booking me.
No, but I mean, if you're buying a car, how do you
If
discover it?
it, oh, well, if you're buying a car, that's not really part of their business. Their business is after you've bought the car, having
Okay.
it delivered to you. In the UK, they home deliver cars a lot.
Well,
Less,
Carvana.
yeah, less. Well, Carvana does it here, but most dealers you got to go in and sign papers. In
Hmm.
the UK, it's a lot more advanced. They will do home delivery, and you can do everything online.
So I'm going to buy an MG that way.
Yeah.
So what I heard that was coming out of the sort of synthesis of the major vendors and also the the more active and fluid, I'll just say what I think, kids table. The kids table was matured dramatically in terms of they weren't talking about the competitive aspects of the major vendors. They were talking about, uh, how do we actually make money with this? And uh, I think that was a real breakthrough, and that you started to see uh, the outline, particularly in the big table, the top six or whatever you called it. You started to see that there's this outline of a there for what is currently being called AI, but will eventually be subsumed into CRM, in my opinion. And what that means is that the hard questions were starting to be asked, encoded a little bit just because of the competitive pressure of all being with their peers in a roundtable. Nonetheless, it was one of the most honest roundtables that I've ever seen.
Hmm.
It shows that uh, AI may be experiencing a backlash around bubbles and about just the ubiquity of being forced down people's throats right now, but that the people who are actually competing in this environment are dead serious about getting this right in a way that is quite transparent. And that's very exciting. It reminds me of what happened when XML broke out and sort of overturned the vendor strategies in the late 90s and around 2000.
Does this mean apps are dead?
Not
Well,
yet, but the trend is that way.
yeah, I'm not sure. I think that the platforms are going to replace the apps. It's it's a function of how do you create the critical mass without bankrupting the space? And we're seeing some pushback from uh, around OpenAI, for example. They have this, you know, uh, the amount of money that they're borrowing is threatening to overwhelm them, and also it's impacting on their ability to create services. Better.
I personally think that's a false narrative, Steve. I think that's in the
Well, go ahead, knock
ecosystem.
yourself out. But
Well, the truth is they're not really borrowing money. They're doing all these forward contracts that have all kinds of carve-outs. So the real dollars that they are borrowing is much lower than the headline numbers you see, and they have the option of not borrowing and not spending. So it's really buying
well, I don't think
supply.
it's a false narrative to suggest what is happening already, which is what I was talking about, which is the tendency on the part of uh, a generalist strategy to reduce the impact of the products that are created.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call them products at this point, as we just sort of discarded. It's more platforms. What are those platforms? And right now, I'd be interested, Keith, since you have your favorites, but uh, forget your favorites for a second and tell me, who do you think is a year from now going to be most focused on by the media, mainstream media?
I think there's two answers based on consumer and business. I think Anthropic in business, Google catching up, but quite far behind, but certainly catching up. And I think it's OpenAI in consumer with Google catching up. And so Google is number two in both markets, and each market has different leaders. And I think that's going to stay the same
So
with
what are the
Google's.
services and what are the capabilities of the platforms that you think are going to be more front and center in a year from now?
Well, OpenAI and Anthropic have slightly different answers to that question. And Anthropic, it's mainly giving insider developer and IT a way to engage with LLMs and provide interfaces to private secure data that allows the LLMs to know about the company's data. And that's without taking that data off-prem. The data will stay wherever it currently is. It might be in the cloud, it might be on-prem, it doesn't really matter. But Anthropic has got the tool set to give those internal developers the ability to build stuff proprietary to each company, which means their reliance on vendors will tend towards declining, other than Anthropic itself, which they'll probably spend more and more money with. And so you're getting the ability to write personalized enterprise software, if you will. On the consumer side, it's a bit different because the consumer side, it's much more a relationship with an AI that over time builds up a knowledge of you. And therefore, there's a huge moat to leaving because I just had this thing where I had to close down one of my Chat GPT accounts to create a company account, and it lost the memory of me. And it's now way less useful to me because it's lost the memory and I have to build it up again. And so this sense of having a relationship to an AI that knows you, in quotes, is the win for OpenAI. They still have 70% of all interactions with generative AI because of that. And it's only, it's going to go down because Google's coming in
But what
there.
are the services that are going to come off of the Anthropics, who you suggest will be uh, more visible than
Anthropic won't
they
build
are
service.
today?
I think Anthropic will not build services in the way that we mean that word
Well, who
today.
will?
Nobody. They'll be internal. Each company will build its own service layer on top of Anthropic as a platform.
Well,
That seems
the
weird.
history of CRM doesn't show that model.
Well, yeah, but CRM as a centralized company versus CRM as a function. I think they're both CRM, but as SingleRank, I built the CRM for us on Anthropic in about a week. And it is a CRM, but it's our CRM.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
there was a lot of customized CM being built back in the early days before the complexity and the cost made it more attractive for a company like Salesforce to come along,
yeah.
and then that changed the whole paradigm. Are you seeing this we're getting closer to that complete pendulum swing
It's going to be
back?
a complete reversal from that because no centralized CRM will be good enough to be specific enough to a specific company's needs. What that was always true, by the way. The biggest complaint about Salesforce was how generic it was.
Well, the
Uh,
biggest complaint I had about Salesforce is I didn't know what it did. And there's been a news report that Mark Benioff is considering changing it to Agentforce, which I think would be a mistake because finally, after 15, 20 years, people know what Salesforce is. So why change the name?
We knew what
well,
Salesforce was when I was working at
Well,
an
you
advertising
may have,
agency.
but on a corporate level, yes. But on a consumer level, more people know what Google is than or whatever it's now called.
But did that matter? I mean, from
Uh,
from
I,
from
I
their
will.
perspective,
Salesforce has the largest number of customers in the
yeah,
world,
that's what I
so it
mean. Did it?
matters. Yeah.
By the way, you're seeing the same trend in databases. it used to be Oracle for everything in corporate. Well,
Hmm.
now it's Supabase, it's Postgres wrapped in some brand in the cloud. Every single person writing code can pick a database of choice that has tables customized to their needs and serves, alerts and notifications customized to their roadmap and what they're doing. I think we're in the golden age of personalized software.
So I think that you just answered my question in a big roundabout way is what does it mean for the brand?
The brands become platform brands. The platform brands. So Supabase and Postgres.
Well, I mean the individual brands that are on the platforms.
You're talking about it from a marketing.
Yes.
Yeah, the brands consume platforms in order to help their brand be whatever their brand is. So the brands, as in, service providers or e-commerce outlets or professional organizations, they lower costs and grow margins
Well,
by not having to buy from
say that
vendors.
wouldn't you say that Amazon is already kind of there, for example?
Amazon's a platform and a vendor, so
Yeah.
it benefits on both sides. It's selling platforms to everyone, and it's not as good as Anthropic. So they just did a deal. Was it they that just did it? Anthropic just did a deal with Snowflake. So Anthropic's going to get in everywhere
Hmm.
in this platform
Yeah.
layer.
Yeah. The one that I see kind of, I don't know if it would be called fading away, but it just doesn't feel as important as it originally was. Perplexity seems to be one that seems, at least to me, to not be being talked about as much, and I don't feel like it's being at least I'm not using as much. It feels like Gemini has actually gained some traction, maybe not so much against OpenAI, because I think they're the poster child for all this stuff. So they're always going to have a significant amount of brand share and mind share. But when you have what Google has and all the levers that they have, and now they're starting to pour all the AI stuff all around some of their core applications and core strengths. I think you got to take a real hard look at them being maybe right next to OpenAI, because it just feels like they've got everything. Like we even talked about the YouTube stuff, not just the YouTube TV, but the YouTube stuff. And then how many people use Gmail and search on a daily basis? We're talking billions of people every day using it, creating all sorts of data, giving the context that Keith was talking about. It's kind of hard to fight that. And if you're able to, if YouTube or Google or whoever finds a way to compete at the enterprise where what Anthropic is doing, then they'll be second in terms of consumer level AI with between OpenAI. I think they have a chance to pass all the other ones and be right next to OpenAI when it comes to like commercial brand and enterprise, like you were talking about, Keith. That's a hard combination to beat because they got all sorts of data coming in every minute on what we do and what we're trying to do. So now they throw AI at that level of data, the frequency, the variety, the let's hope it's accuracy, because you should be applying your AI to make sure this data is accurate at this point. Google's sitting in a really good position for all this stuff.
Is anybody talking about XAI at all?
XAI is creeping up on the outside, quality
XAI is
wise.
Tesla. It's the same company.
I only use it within Grok, though. I mean, within
Yeah.
X. I don't use it outside of that interface.
But
So-
you can't underestimate the power of Tesla combined with X.
I
Yeah.
find myself more and more using Grok these days.
So Grok is built into every Tesla, and so is compute. So the latest Teslas are as powerful as an NVIDIA GPU, and they mostly are not being driven, but they're on the network.
Wait a
So
minute, are people buying these things because of the GPU, or
no, you're buying them.
And
Well,
you get
look,
it.
a Tesla is morphing into being three things. Firstly, it's a battery, and increasingly they're going to be able to plug it into your house and use it as a backup.
When the power fails,
Yeah.
I'd buy that in a
Yeah.
second.
Then the second thing is it's compute and mostly not used, therefore available. And there's already, I don't know, what is it, 4 or 5 million? Maybe even more actually. I think it's 2 million a year Model Ys. So there's a lot of Teslas out there that have unused compute that Tesla uniquely can access with the permission of the owner of the car. And then thirdly, it's kind of a robot, emerging robot that's going to be able to drive by itself.
Yeah, the
So
autonomic thing, I think, is going to be their brand,
yeah.
not
So
not the standalone.
Yeah.
device.
Not regular people. Most regular people are not going to be buying Teslas. Regular regular users of Google services and all that kind of stuff. They're not going to that level. I mean, and I think
No,
that's going
but
to be
they're
the
going to
mass.
be, Tesla is likely to give away access to their data stream,
License it.
which is what they're doing with the chargers.
and I do think Optimus, based on what I see, he's going to manufacture 1 million Optimus robots next year, which means internally they must have got them to the point where their general use case works and they can sell them at a price where they don't lose too much money. What you've then got is a Tesla on legs with arms, not quite with the compute power of a car or the battery power of a car for sure, but still, you're going to end up separating AI from the cloud into an object that you can talk to, like a companion. That seems huge to me.
Yeah.
Well, I think they've got a lot of competition there. I'm
XAI
not so
is
sure I
more than
agree with
it's
that competitive assessment. I think you're right from a technical opportunity, but I think there are others that are going to blow past them.
Well, what are we talking about though? Remember when what was that the Vision Pro thing came out
Mm-hmm.
a couple years ago? And everybody was really excited about it until they found out it was 3,500
Well,
bucks.
Keith bought one, and he
Uh,
sold it a couple
How
of
often?
weeks ago.
Yeah, how often have you or did you use that thing?
I actually used it quite a lot when I was on my own because you can watch movies and things better than any other way. But I didn't use it for work, which is what I hoped I would be able to use it for.
Yeah. So this a lot of this stuff sounds really great and interesting, but how many regular folks are going to be using it and buying these things?
It
When they have
depends.
glasses plugged into it, a lot.
Regular
Well,
folks? I don't know about that.
well, Brent, the regular folks, this is what would
I
get
need them. I just to in order to be able to walk out my door, I need some, glasses that are powerful.
Yeah, but they're not. I mean, we're talking about glasses that are running what GPUs. I mean, I just don't know if regular folks outside the bubble. Because let's face it, we're all in the bubble to certain levels.
Well,
You know.
you speak for yourself.
You
I'm
wouldn't be
in the
having this
bubble.
conversation if you weren't in the bubble, all right? Regular folks at the ball game are not talking about how many GPUs or TPUs, because we got to get to that point too, that we're going to have at our
Well,
disposal
like I
to
said,
run
speak
stuff.
for yourself. I'm not talking about that.
Oh, I want glasses
I'm
where I
talking
can see
about, yeah,
video in them.
exactly.
I
Frank
want
and
to see
I are, essentially from the same
if
All right. Well,
different
those
mothers, but different fathers too.
I don't think a lot of people are gonna. Maybe they're gonna spend at the like they spend for their iPhones because now we got $2,000 iPhones
Well, I'm not
apparently.
going to spend it on the iPhone for sure because they're indestructible at this point. My daughter wants to upgrade, and it's like, why?
I think the
'Cause she
killer
wants it.
app is I think the killer app is different, Brent and Steve. I think the killer app is going to be laundry, dishwashing, and cleaning. How much would you pay weekly?
It'll replace me in a heartbeat.
Uh,
I
I
think you're
think
absolutely
you
right about
might pay $200 a week, maybe even more, for those three tasks.
I would
I
right
wouldn't pay
now.
$200 a week for it.
I just have it, want the phone to get answered.
You would like that, wouldn't you, Tina?
So have you done the dishes? Yes. says
Now,
the robot.
what if you add in conversation regarding everything it knows already about you to progress whatever it is you're working on or thinking on?
Yeah, I'm
Do you
out.
realize how many
I'm out
200
on
bucks a
that. I
week
don't want
is?
that.
200 bucks a
I
week is
want to have
10,000
a
a year, isn't it?
what?
No, it's going to be, look, it's like a lease. You can get a Tesla car for 349 a month now.
All right.
That's pretty
It's
good.
going to be like a lease,
I think Tesla's is a home replacement.
possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, the little tiny houses, that's what that is.
And
Yeah,
by the
just
way,
need a bigger Tesla.
there'll be monthly software upgrades that means it can now replace your Rumba, and now it can go and do the
What's a
gardening.
So
Rumba?
what are you gonna add? That's your vacuum cleaner.
Vacuum robot.
Oh, vacuum robot.
You put that's the thing you put your cat on top of, and it goes around the house, and
It's got to
and you
be,
make
that's
food.
got to be what it is. I mean, it isn't even hard, is it, to think it through? If assuming that it's dexterous enough and it's got the grok brain and it can
See, there
learn
you go.
tasks.
It
It's
just
there you
needs to
go.
be on a
That's
network. It doesn't have to have the Grok brain. It has
so.
to be connected to the brain.
This
Connected to
does not. None of this kills the internet. This just makes the
No,
internet
it
more
makes it
important.
on
Well,
steroids.
this
It
is
makes
only
the
because it's
energy
only because of
requirements a lot more. That's for
it's
sure.
only because of the internet. But if you separate the internet into email, the web, its components, the web becomes source material. The internet is the
I don't know.
transport.
You got that smile going, Keith, there. I'm not sure I believe you.
I had to throw that hand grenade in there. I just
I
had
think
to.
I do the smile when I'm excited. It's not when I'm.
That's cool. I'm just saying, what did you just say? And do I believe you?
I said the word internet is a overarching word for lots of services, one of which is the web. And the internet is TCP/IP, basically. And these robots will live on top of TCP/IP and will have access to the web, to databases, blah, blah. So it's really more like a personalized cloud service in a physical object.
Well, I think the gating factor is, the overreach on the part of the Trump administration in terms of privacy. So I think that that's going to keep a lot of people trying to manage through AI the data leaks that result from this
Yeah.
technology.
I'm a bad use case there because I literally don't care about privacy and security. So I'm not the right person to even think that through.
You know what? I'm there with you, Keith. It's funny. People look at me when I talk about that and say the same thing. They go, "What, are you absolutely out of your mind?" Oh, I don't think that there's anything in the world that can guarantee privacy and security. Consequently, why
No,
should you worry
it's
about
not
it?
a question of guaranteeing it. It's a question of managing it.
Yeah. Well, I think you can personally manage
So
it.
But aren't there some kinds of information like your financial or your health that you rather have somebody very seriously thinking about how to secure it?
Honestly, I don't care. In fact, my medical information is so badly protected. Like, take my kid. My kid had a seizure this week, and his doctor, his neurosurgeon, is here, and he had to go to a hospital not here, and they couldn't get his records.
So therefore, what's better than the NHS?
Yeah,
You
well,
you definitely need you
you
personal.
have to have a nomination process for expertise.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean
And,
you
and,
have to
and
use it.
think about your credit score. Why is there these third agencies that create a credit score? If my bank account had an API that allowed anyone to look up all my sources of, you know, net worth, that probably would help me. And you wouldn't need these
So
credit score.
you're
And you
okay
can
with
go
that.
onto the internet and find out
I think
anybody's net worth.
there are a lot of people who, once they are more vulnerable to the, right now what we have are these numbers, potential spam coming in. And if you listen to what they're asking, what they're trying to do is map you. They're trying to figure out what information will you give us so that we can then repull it and then call back with something that is targeted at what they have found out about you. And that's not going to be a comfortable feeling when the middle class is being carved up.
Wouldn't this be a better service, Keith, for a bank to be able to do rather than to have a third party to get your credit score?
I think it's a combination of your bank, your stock trading account, probably your wealth manager. It's all
All
the
of that for me happens at one bank.
Some people it's a two or three, and there is a Plaid, Plaid, that has built APIs that hook into everything, but they don't give you a credit score. So Plaid is the glue right now.
The outside for me is my real estate, which is not attached to my bank because
Yeah.
it was all bought for cash.
So
Well, this is why
SoFi uses Plaid and it gives you your real estate stuff.
Do you have to put it in?
You have to put it in,
Mm.
but it does kind of aggregate your net worth in one place.
this is why I think Trump's success is based on uh, his understanding of how to
Business?
popular. Yeah, I know. We've been laughing. Maybe the laughs on us.
Okay.
The middle class is an interesting topic, but it's preceded by the working class. The working class only exists if it thinks it does, because it's a designation, us and them kind of designation that lives in your brain. In America, middle class tends to be used to cover both working class and middle class, as it's normally used, say, in Europe. But I think the working class stopped existing shortly after Reagan in any self-aware sense. And the middle class became this, word for all of us, except for the people who fall outside at the bottom. And it feels to me as if the middle class is inevitably going to shrink.
Well, but under Reagan, the working class became the middle class until the bottom fell out, and the middle class and the working class disappeared.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I think what's going on with Costco and uh, similar strategies to aggregate in a superstore format is it's the future of the political parties more than it's something to be afraid of. So your comment, I'm not sure I understand your comment about feeling like you're part of the middle class. Uh, we'll be lucky if we can maintain middle class status. But if you see the numbers in terms of uh, access to the stock market, for example, I mean, right now Trump is only successful in the broad stock market.
Yeah, because affordability is a hoax.
Well, because of the Magnificent Seven as well. I mean, America's lucky to have those seven companies that are pulling everything along behind it.
Well, yeah,
Well,
but you look at I've been doing a lot of looking at this. The
yeah.
If you look at the S&P 500 2020, excuse me, 2000 versus 2025,
Ooh.
completely different makeup of the top 10 companies. It was the top 10 back at the turn of the century were like GE and like Exxon and those companies. And then I think Microsoft, of course, was still there. Maybe another, I think Cisco might have been there at the time. But you look at it now, the top 8 companies in the S&P 500 are all tech companies.
Mhm.
And
And that S&P number keeps going up higher than it's ever gone up
yeah. Well, if you
in
take out
history.
those top 8 or 10 companies, because overall it's been like I think from 2020 to 2025, like a 1,300% rise or something like that. But
Yeah.
if you take out those top tech companies, S&P 500 has actually decreased 2%.
Yeah.
So it is all about these eight to yeah eight.
Well, if you add to that, Brent, that there are at least four or five other private companies that, were they public, would
Yeah,
be in that list.
yeah.
And the lack of IPOs is leading to what a huge private secondary markets. Goldman Sachs just acquired Industry Ventures, which is a secondary market player. Schwab just acquired Forge Global, which is a secondary market player. Uh, BlackRock acquired Preqin, which is a data service about private markets. You're getting this wealth that is both the S&P 500 and the top private companies.
Yeah.
And didn't people get scared off of IPOs? Isn't that what happened?
They've no need to IPO if they can raise billions of dollars privately.
Yeah.
IPOs are a way to raise money, that's all, and to get liquidity. So if you've got liquidity and can raise money without going public, then you don't have to do quarterly reporting. That's probably a better place to be.
Mm. And then you have companies like remember Keith, we kind of started our session with you off talking about I forget the name of the Pivo or something like that, where they raised 500 million, but it wasn't from like some of the more it was from like companies like
Yeah.
HubSpot and Klaviyo and I think MailChimp, and that's $500 million in his company. And then the other thing that kind of struck me during that conversation is what Scott Bechuk said from Venture Norwest Venture Partners, where he's like, we're now looking at seed level stuff because it's getting harder and harder to get a chunk of what you really want at these other funding times, because I think because you see these companies like these big tech companies putting money together and putting it into these companies now. So they're actually having this competition now is with technology companies who have oodles of money to do things with. And now some of these VCs are saying, well, we have to invest even, I guess closer and closer to these seed level lines in order to make the kind of money we need because of the risk that's involved with this stuff
Yeah.
now. It's really interesting.
There was a $2 billion seed round last week.
I mean, is
See,
that how logical is that? I mean, was that going on a decade ago? Was that the case with this stuff?
well, so what it is if this was public markets, it would be illegal because it would be called insider trading. But in private markets, it's completely legal. And that is that you keep feeding companies money. They get bigger and bigger. The next guy pays even more. And it's all justified by multiple of revenue. So there is a control number at the bottom of it. It's not just crazy stupidity. And it stays private and you sell to each other privately. So basically, retail investors, the middle class, don't get access until it's already fully grown and the growth is done. So SpaceX and Stripe are the two poster children historically for this, but now OpenAI, Anthropic, Perplexity are all being added into that same bucket. And so pre-IPO private markets are becoming bigger than the top eight in the S&P 500, measured by amount of new money going to them every year.
So let me ask you a question, Keith. Why should the people who are listening to the show or extrapolate from the 12 people that are, uh,
23.
why should they be, what are they looking for from the information that you just described that's going to be useful to them?
Well, I think it's in their interest to want to get access to this closed members club of very large private
But
assets that are growing.
you just said that they don't have access.
They don't, but that can change.
How?
So the first thing that can happen is you can create a stock market-like version of public markets, which is happening. Companies like Hive, if you go to Hive, Hiive, you'll see a list of these names and you can actually buy their shares on Hive. I'd say what I do is an earlier stage of Hive. We're buying these names early before they become names.
Hmm.
We've now got 4 or 5 of them that are names 2 years later. So you want this to be opened up to retail investors so they can play this game under some kind of control so they can't be scammed into losing all
So,
that money.
of the two major political parties, which one would you gravitate toward that would help you to do that?
It's not even close. Only the Republicans are even aware of this. The Democrats hate it. The Democrats are anti concentrated tech value wise. and they're against letting retail investors buy it from a protecting them point of view, and they don't want pension funds playing in that camp from the same point of view. So the Democrats are the furthest away from middle class needs. The
So
Republicans
in
are
other
much
words,
closer.
you're bullish on the Republicans continuing their.
Well, it's almost despite themselves because the reason is they believe in capitalism and they think this is capitalism. They haven't thought it through, by the way. I'm not giving them any credit for a strategy, but just by default, because the Democrats are so against it, they end up being better. But I don't think they know what they're doing.
Okay, well, we'll revisit this later on. I want to quickly, if anybody has any comments about TV shows that we haven't already covered, let's start with Tina.
Well, I already mentioned the Clooney Sandler movie, which I really did enjoy. So I'm gonna stick with that. George Clooney, always nice to look at, and I love Adam Sandler. I love and I
Watching Sandler on that show
I
as an actor, the guy's phenomenal.
By the way, it's called Jay Kelly.
unlike
Right.
Steve, I love when comedians
Oh,
cross over
it's the death knell
to
for comedians.
It didn't kill
drama. Always
Belzer.
loved it. I like seeing people in different
He was funnier on
Hello?
that show than on
Hello?
than anybody
Hello?
else.
Did you hear me talking?
Yeah.
What were you
Did you hear Frankie
Right.
interrupting you?
I interrupted your interruption. Sorry.
Blame me first. Okay, go ahead, Tina. Finish.
done?
I love comedians who cross over. As I was saying,
What,
Richard
like
Belzer,
Jerry Lewis? That was a good one.
Jerry Lewis was like so inventive. Do you know that the first time assisted video was used in
Yeah,
the
that's a
making of a
great
movie,
director.
it was Jerry Lewis who did it.
Mm.
Thank
Yeah, I
you.
did know that.
All right. Well, not a lot of
Okay,
people.
but that film that he made about the Holocaust.
Oh no, I'm
it's
talking about the
not on
comedies.
okay. Well, that's what I'm saying is
But see, as a comedian,
comedians
he
that
was
make
very
serious
dramatic.
films.
So also Bill Murray did a pretty brilliant job in a few movies, and
Yes, he did.
like you just don't expect it, and you know, in the case of Sandler, I was watching an interview with him, David Letterman interviewing him, and you know, recently on David's, what's that show called? I can't remember.
I think that I have a beard
Like an
as long
interview.
as the
Like
turnpike.
I look like Santa Claus, but I'm not. Um, and Adam, you know, studied acting kind of before he got into comedy. I think comedy sort of was a way to,
Monetize.
you know, well, you know, I know what those days were like. They weren't making much money, um, but so it's interesting, and I just love that seeing the people who I are usually think of as making me laugh is getting into drama.
He's being touted for that role.
With good reason. I mean, if you
lots of
literally
awards should be coming his way because of that.
He's
well-
being touted for a what?
For that role in
Role.
Jay
Was
Kelly.
talking and I couldn't hear.
For that role in Jay Kelly,
really
that he was so good in it that people that's really become a buzz in Hollywood and in the award circles.
Well,
Yeah.
we've taken to watching the George, what's his name?
Yeah, I don't know.
The comedian, late night comedian, what's his name?
That's not George at
Okay.
all.
The
Jimmy-
guy on Fox,
Jimmy
you like
Kimmel,
that guy?
thank you.
Oh, Kimmel, he's incredible.
George Kimmel.
He's really great.
George Kimmel, he's fabulous.
It's fine. It's close enough.
It's
Yeah,
the Kimmel.
he's fabulous. He's fabulous.
You know, yeah, you know, we've kind of avoided the late night talk shows for a long time.
Kind of
Honestly,
when
since
Letterman quit.
When Letterman quit, we kind of went, whatever. But
If you cut that
yeah,
beard off, he can
Kimmel's
come
pretty
back.
amazing.
That just drives me crazy.
Says the man with the beard.
Yeah,
No,
but
trust me, he
No.
looks like the one of the ZZ Top
ZZ
guys.
Top. Yeah.
He's
ZZ Top are playing in Menlo Park next week.
Yeah, no thanks.
I won't see you there.
Did you see
Good
the
guitar
photo?
player.
Did you see the photograph of the winners of this year's Kennedy Center honors in the White House?
Oh God.
Who was it? Like
No,
Kid
okay.
Rock or
Who was
No, it was Sylvester Stallone, the
Well,
whole
he's
band
great.
of the.
I love his
He's
TV show.
that new TV show of his is dynamite. By the way,
But the
it's
best new
really
TV show by a aging star, is Landman.
yeah, I like
Oh,
that.
absolutely
Billy
Landman is
Bob is
that's
fantastic.
outstanding movie.
it
I
is
mean, TV
outstanding.
show. It's
Yeah,
outstanding.
very good.
But you have Kiss and you had I want to say Kid Rock, but you Sylvester Stallone. I mean, he said these are the most powerful, the best people in the entire world in the entertainment industry, without mentioning that the list of people who said no is
Yeah,
like 20 pages
Well,
long.
the best, Frank, I know you'll get this, is I recommend everybody watches the World Cup draw. It's 3 hours where Infantino, whatever he's called,
Gives him that
gives
award.
Trump the FIFA Peace Award, which, by the way, doesn't exist. There's no such thing as a
No.
FIFA Peace Award. It's a brand
Well,
new
there
thing.
is now, because he's
Yeah.
got the one.
He's got the first one. They're going to have to give it away every year now.
Man,
And
the
then
they
they
have
ask
like
him,
a
they ask
cabinet
him,
one.
they ask him whether American football should change its name from football, and he says yes, probably.
I loved how he put it on himself, which doesn't happen.
he was so
Don't,
happy to get that.
do
FIFA
not get me
award.
started on this
And then
clown.
they asked
If
him
it-
whether the USA could win the World Cup. And
Okay,
he-
so Brent, what I did not enjoy the number 2 versus number 1 show last night.
What, Indiana, Ohio State?
Yeah,
That was a
did
pretty
you
good
like it?
game. Yeah, it's a pretty good game.
Okay. Well,
Better than the SEC championship, that's for sure. That was a bust.
who was in that? Georgia?
Georgia destroyed Alabama 28-7.
By the way,
Damn.
you all like Steve's
I like that hat. Yeah, I was gonna
this,
say
where
something.
when he's got it down covering his eyes and you can just see his nose. I think it's really spectacular.
It's very baseball like.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's better than this.
I like that hat. It's nice.
Yeah, it's a Yankee hat.
Well, I mean, it's a different kind of style there.
It doesn't have the pinstripe thing.
And it's a color thing. It's
Yeah, I like the color. Yeah.
beige.
Yeah, I don't know
Beige.
where I got it, but
You got
I want to know if
like
the Niners are going to make
well, where did you get it from?
I'm not telling.
are the Niners going to make the
Very
playoffs.
competitive.
I have secrets.
I think the Niners are going to make it. I think 3 teams in the NFC West probably have a good chance to make it.
Well, I'm just sick of trying to figure out the disembowelment of the Big Ten and all that stuff into a whatever it is now, the playoffs bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the real number 1, which is whoever survives.
Yeah, Michigan didn't do so well this year.
What's interesting to me is that Stanford suck. What happened to Stanford? They filled the stadium against Berkeley a couple of weeks ago, 65,000, but the team is like pathetic.
Sorry, Stanford
Well,
versus Berkeley. It just seems weird.
Isn't that an ACC matchup now?
That's kind of like MIT against
I think they're
Fordham.
both in the ACC,
Yeah.
which is crazy considering they are way more closer to the Pacific Ocean than the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
But yet and
Yeah,
still,
it's
they're
like
ACC.
the Big Ten. They put 2 Pac-8 teams in. I mean, it's just they don't know what they're doing.
No, it's
Yeah,
all about
change
the
the
money.
name.
That's all
Change
about the
the
money.
name.
Well, plus they can't compete. They're not good enough.
Well, there's that. But I mean, there are all these. It's because of the TV money. You can blame that for ACC teams out in the Pacific Ocean, basically.
Who said this?
The Hoosier Buckeye game.
I don't care.
I thought it was a good
Who
game.
won? Can you answer that?
Indiana.
Who won?
Indiana
From me.
won.
Indiana won.
Yeah, Indiana
Fantastic.
won.
Yeah, they were up by like 10-6. What a game! What a strategy!
Brent, you're like a football AI, man.
No, he knows everything.
I just like watching football.
I did too.
Football.
So I can have an opinion about
Are you missing?
which football.
I miss the Redskins. I'm sorry. I just missed the
Well,
Redskins.
they got
You missed the
blasted
name.
today.
Yeah, well, they're not the Redskins anymore. Sorry.
Well, that's not politically correct.
Sonny Jurgensen.
What are they now?
The
They're
commander.
the Commanders.
Billy Kilmer,
Billy Kilmer.
Joe Theismann,
John Riggins. Theismann.
Riggo.
So what
Theismann.
happened? What happened? Because last season I started watching them because they were looking really good. What
Well,
happened between last season and this
They had
season?
a hell of a run yet last season, but their quarterback got hurt, and he was basically the team.
Okay,
Your eggs in one basket.
wherever you go, there you are.
Dude, thank you.
All
Through
right.
the ever widening
Bring it-
hole.
Oh,
It was
Irwin Corey.
Irwin Corey first.
Not Firestone.
No.
Or
Uh,
what was that great movie?
The one with where it was popularized.
God.
You two are giving us really bad clues here. I can't. That could be like 1,000 movies.
Well, that's part of our
This is what I go
evil
through every
plan.
night. It's a
It's
guess.
from the eighth dimension. That was the second half of the Buckaroo Banzai.
That's it. You
Thank
did.
you. I went backwards.
Hey Keith, you're not alone in being lost. I have no
Buckaroo
idea.
Banzai.
Buckaroo Banzai and the eighth
That's-
dimension.
I think that's a little before my time
time.
on that one.
That's a great movie. You should watch it now. It's just as good today as I just watched it recently. It was just as good.
You know,
today as
no,
it
you know what
was
I'm watching
40 years ago.
I watched this morning. I'm gonna kind of go back and forth on Sundance, the Sundance channel. It's like some kind of cowboy day. So I watched High Noon with Gary Cooper, and then right before I jumped on here, I watched this whole damn thing. Big Jake.
Did they have gunfight at the OK Corral? It's one of my
What was
favorites.
it? Big
Man.
Jake?
Big Jake. Oh, it was great. It was John Wayne versus Richard Boone, basically.
Ooh,
And Richard Boone is the
Have Gun Will
man.
Travel.
He is the man.
Paladin.
And
But
so it
if
was
you
great.
really want to binge watch Cowboy, I suggest Hoss and Little Joe, Bonanza.
Oh. Yeah, I mean that's cool, but what we're talking like movies here. We're talking like
Yeah.
Clint
Thank you.
Eastwood and John Wayne and Gary Cooper. I mean, you can't
Boop.
beat those dudes. Oh, like Who Shot Liberty Valance? I mean, I
Oh,
love
great
that
movie.
That was what's
Lee
his name?
Marvin and
Lee
Jimmy
Marvin.
Stewart
Whenever I don't get
and
a
John
reference,
Wayne, basically. Yeah.
if I ever don't get a reference, I assume it must be come
Shot
out during my
Liberty
acid years.
Valance.
You're okay.
After.
Anyway,
You're never after your acid years.
interesting show tonight, guys. Lots of broadness.
Oh, well, thanks. It must have been up to you to
No
start
depth,
the way you
just a lot
did.
of broad.
Congratulations. Thanks to
What,
everybody who
on
showed
the
up.
broads or on the depth?
I'll try it again. Take two. Thanks to everybody who showed up, and especially those who didn't. We'll see you again, if there isn't again next time.
Aw, come on.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Chow mein. See you guys. I got to go.